Where do you expect Tyreek to sign, and how much impact will he have at the age of 32?
Yeah, it's obviously early, but I do think there are a couple places I could see him going to. The first and most obvious is back to Kansas City. You know, he has that chemistry already with Patrick Mahomes. He had 6,600 receiving yards there, 62 total touchdowns. We know the production that he can have in that offense with Andy Reid. Now you have Eric Bieniemy back as well, who was the OC when Tyreek Hill was there. So he's going to have that continuity. And I think that's important too, because remember, with this injury, he's most likely going to miss the entire offseason and potentially the first couple games of the regular season. So you're not going to get those offseason reps in OTAs and fall camp. That familiarity with the scheme will make up for that since he's been there before. They also just restructured Patrick Mahomes' contract, so they're going to have some room if they want to make that move. Another team to keep an eye on who I think might make a run for him is the Buffalo Bills. You know, you bring in first-time head coach Joe Brady, who's been there before. He's an offensive-minded coach. They're desperate for a playmaker on the offensive side of the ball at wide receiver. He's already talked to Brandon Beane before, obviously, about bringing in wide receivers or drafting guys. So potentially they could have that conversation about making a push for Tyreek Hill this offseason. And then a couple other teams I think to keep an eye on that can maybe make a run for Hill this offseason. The 49ers with Kyle Shanahan adding a threat to the outside. The Patriots, who I think are also an offensive weapon away to really get to where they want to be on the offensive side of the ball, give Drake May someone else, and then also put him in Josh McDaniel's system. And then the Baltimore Ravens, like we just talked about. Give Lamar another receiver opposite of Zay Flowers and help out your young first-time offensive coordinator, Declan Doyle. Now, the biggest question in the second part of that question was how much production can Tyreek Hill have at 32 years old? And you just said it. He's not far removed from leading the league in receiving yards. He's also not far removed from being a first-team all-pro wide receiver, one of the best wide receivers in the NFL, really, the last decade. He has proven that, but the biggest thing with his knee injury, which was catastrophic, was the fact that he is a speedy, quick wide receiver. He's not a big body possession type wide receiver. He relies heavily on his speed over the top and also getting in and out of breaks. So I don't know with that knee injury and how bad it was, how much that's going to affect him, especially being 32 years old, which isn't old in the real world, but in the NFL, you're getting up there in age. So hopefully he can get back close to 100%. I still think there's going to be a lot left in the tank for Tyreek Hill. I think he's going to have something to prove, but it's going to be, really big to see how he comes back from that injury. But I do think a couple teams will make a run for him this offseason. I think the Chiefs are probably going to be first in line.
Nah, that injury is definitely going to determine the impact. You know what I'm saying? It's how he shake back from that injury shit. He said on his stream that he got to get another surgery for that LCL on his knee. So it's not even done getting cut open and shit yet. You know what I'm saying? So it's he definitely going to miss the offseason, man. He probably going to be healthy. He still got time to get healthy. It's 6 months or whatever. You got time to shake back and get healthy. But like you said, once you start being 32, 33, man, it just take a little bit longer to recover from these injuries. And him being a speed demon, once you lose a step, are you the same guy? You know what I'm saying? It's that's what you hang your hat on. So are you the same guy if you lose a step? But with that being said, man, I don't think he'll demand a lot of money because this a high risk short term signing. You know what I'm saying? So those kind of signings, he may get 10 mil. It ain't gonna be nothing crazy. Like it's gonna be something real short and straight to the point. So if he good, he's like, oh great. You know what I'm saying? Maybe a 1-year deal. If he good, oh great. If he not that good, well, we ain't really spend nothing on him anyway. So I definitely think a team who feel like we one weapon away from making our offense top notch is going to try to come get him. You said both of them who I said the Ravens or the Bills will be two good spots where I don't really need Tyreek to install the offense and all that, bro. I need you to be healthy, put you at this X, run these deep balls, put you at this Z motion, run these override. Like that's easier for the receivers. Y'all can learn the offense way better than the quarterback can. You know what I'm saying? So you could plug and play a guy like Tyreek, man. You ain't got to play him every single down. He older anyway. Man, put him in there and let him do what he do, man. He going to make the defense worry about him, take the top off the defense, man. So just him being on the roster, on the field, he going to have eyes on him. He probably going to demand too high. You know what I'm saying? You really ain't going to play a lot of one high with him if he still got that gas. So, and I can see him going to Baltimore, linking up with Lamar.
And that would work perfect to that point. You get some too high coverage. Both the Bills and the Ravens love to use their tight ends. You get too high, you attack the middle of the field with likely Kincaid.
Yeah, Ravens may
Andrews, Knox, those guys.
Great run games too. So you put that on the field, and now we could really tote the rock. So I could see Buffalo, Baltimore. I think it'd be two good landing spots for him. He won't have to carry the team, but he still can be productive if he come back healthy.
Yeah, I
What
mean,
you
I
got,
think
TJ?
he's definitely gonna take some time with with those surgeries, man, and him being 32. You know, after 30, they like to kind of put us to the side as vets a little bit and try to get us out the league anyway. And if he wasn't as talented and had so much production that he's had, he may, be a couple steps away from being out this league. But for those two reasons, I feel like going to places with some familiarity, some comfort, like Kansas City, back home with Pat and Big Red over there, Andy Reid, where he knows the system. You don't have to worry about rushing his injury to get back. He could chill during the offseason OTAs and just really trust, the process of rehab. In Kansas City, he's comfortable with the quarterback, like you said, Lee. The timing really will still be there, I feel, and he'll be productive, especially teams that are knowing they're going to be a playoff run. So even early in the season, there's no rush. We don't need you to make the playoffs. We're going to make the playoffs without you. Get ready mid-season where you'll be 100%. We know you 100%, and let's work on this playoff run. Another place I say is the Chargers, man, with McDaniels there. He's familiar with McDaniels. McDaniels is familiar with him, had one of his best seasons with McDaniels. And, Tyreek being hurt is the reason why McDaniels is not still a head coach. So him being in LA under Harbaugh, McDaniels, they one receiver away. They got a good defense, some pieces that they need offensively, mainly an offensive line. But, with Herbert having such a big arm, he could drop back and just find Tyreek deep. That's the one thing he was missing this past season. So he'll have time to rehab and get ready there. And it's warm in LA. You don't want to go to two cold places, unfamiliar with that hard turf like Buffalo and Baltimore has with that knee, man. You want to play on something a little softer. And I know SoFi is turf, but KC is grass. So, that warmth is like, when you had them knee injuries, I done had 3 or 4 myself. Man, it's like the Tin Man when it's cold. Where's the oil? Yeah. I need the icy hot, rub this thing down. Yeah. So being in a warm spot would definitely benefit him in his recovery. So I like those two places.
I like the Chargers. I like how that Chargers sound too. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah. Well, one thing I will add, though, I think is interesting, kind of going back to the Chiefs talk, is remember, Patrick Mahomes also is coming off of a knee injury, so we don't know if he's even going to play next year. So if he signs for a one-year deal in Kansas City, obviously they want to add as many weapons as they can, but Patrick Mahomes will most likely not be the quarterback for maybe the entire season, at least, for a couple of weeks or for the majority of the season. So that's something to keep an eye on. But I still think, like I said, Kansas City.
How long do you think these
technology, man? They coming back 8 months with the ACL. It ain't no year no more.
They fixing them motherfuckers like sprained ankles, man. Them boys coming back quick.
They coming back ready to go.
Patty will be there first day of training camp. Patty will be under the
I hope you're right.
Easy.
He'll be back 3 or 4 weeks. I think 4 weeks into the season.
July, August, 8 months, he still ain't ready. Like, come on now. It's an ACL.
All right.
So to TJ's point, the telltale is going to be Mike McDaniel as the new coordinator under Jim Harbaugh, because if Mike McDaniel pushes to go get Tyreek, then you'll know better that he knows, because nobody knows Tyreek right now better than Mike McDaniel does, because he would have the inside on exactly what surgery was done. Because remember, to quote Cody, it was catastrophic because the kneecap dislocated along with the torn ACL and a bunch of other bad stuff. And then, as Akeem pointed out, he's not even finished with some cleanup surgery. So, man, I don't love the feel of this, because when you're 32 after 10 years and you have that happen, and then don't forget, Tyreek, as Cody pointed out, had the one great year in 2023 when he led the whole league in receiving yards and touchdowns. But then in 2024, he was healthy the whole year, I think, and everything dropped drastically. Targets dropped by 50 and catches dropped by 40. I don't know what happened to Tyreek, not this past year, but the year before when he was healthy.
Well,
he started to show a little bit of drop off.
Yeah.
And if you throw in catastrophic on top of that, I just don't know, man. I hope so, because I like him, and yet is he cheetah? I mean, is he cheetah? Like, is he the fastest animal on the planet? Is he still that? Because as you guys know, just a little, a little half step of quickness and speed, and all of a sudden you're just a little guy trying to catch the ball. And then you look at Mahomes. So Mahomes did win an MVP without Tyreek the first year. And then Mahomes over the last 3 years, I dare you, go look at the numbers of Patrick Mahomes over the last 3 years. Drop, drop,
Yeah, they make
drop.
a drop skip, but they still ain't just like terrible. You feel
They're
me?
not terrible, but they eroded. They just
Right.
eroded a little bit. And is Tyreek going to fix that? I doubt it. Do they have rapport and connect? Yes, yes. They got a lot of good vibes and they understand each other and they know each other. But physically, can you replicate the speed? I man, I don't know. I don't love this, but again, like Akib said, if you do that 1 year deal for kind of a make good sort of a deal, then you try him because he's Tyreek Hill. You
Got
just
to.
see if he could recapture it, and I hope he can because I miss him, man. I mean, he was the most electric receiver in the league for like 5 straight years, and he was must see TV. And Akib tells me that everybody can backflip, but Tyreek can really stand still backflip. Akib said he could do it when he was like 8 years old. So I don't know,
Yeah,
Oh
man.
yeah. When
What
you
you
right?
got
got
those
back
knee
flipping right now?
injuries, it's important to strengthen all the muscles around that
Yeah,
knee so it stabilizes it.
yeah,
What I do know about Tyreek, he got some pistons down there. He's a track
yeah. Oh,
guy.
doesn't God?
That track strength, that track leg strength is just a little bit different. Like those muscles
Yeah,
and how they,
that's a good point. Yeah,
they work. That them things get strong. So as long as he's strengthened around all them ligaments, I think he'll be absolutely good. Because that's the most important thing. Is make sure all those muscles around those ligaments are as strong as possible. He gonna be on the track. He gonna be out there probably in Miami in that heat. He ain't called the cheetah for no reason. So
And also
yeah,
strengthening that other knee as well, so you don't overcompensate. But
yeah,
to your point, Skip, I do think it's important to add there were some other variables in the 2024 and 2025 season.
yeah,
You had the
Got
concussion.
this quarterback,
There
right?
were
Skip,
multiple
right?
quarterbacks in and out of the lineup. There was no
yeah,
continuity at that position with the offense. So it wasn't just Tyreek Hill that had the drop off in production. It was the
Tell
guys
Jamar
around him as
Chase
well,
that.
specifically
Hey,
the quarterback.
hey, tell Jamar Chase that same shit.
No, I hear you. I'm not saying that
yeah,
guys can't produce with other quarterbacks, but Miami did have a lot of issues at the quarterback position. Not everybody can produce like that. So
yeah.
yeah, there was some drop off around him as well.
Okay, so the question is, will Tyreek Hill go somewhere and change some team's life, like be a difference maker? I doubt it.
man, you
Yeah,
come in and
I doubt
improve
it
a
too.
team and
I
get
doubt
him
it too,
over the
man.
hump. He ain't gonna do it all by himself. But if
Yeah,
you get him over the hump and get him to them AFC championships or
yeah,
NFC championships, you changing
yeah,
lives right there.
yeah. That would.
Yeah, if you say it like that, get him over the hump is different than change life. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, it is.
Yeah, and
it's
I think it all just depends on
totally
how he looks at coming back from this knee injury. Like I said, he's a speedy, quick receiver. You got to get in and out of breaks. You got to cut on that knee. You're not a possession type guy. It's all going to depend on his recovery.
You got to run shit. I got a high ankle sprain surgery. I ain't Tyreek Hill fast, but I could run. You feel me?
Yeah.
I got a high ankle sprain surgery at 32, and
Mm.
shit, I for sure never got that step back. You know what I'm saying?
Really.
I could feel it in practice. I could feel
Yeah.
it in the game. Like, God damn, this hoe just stuck stiff. My ankle stuck stiff.
Fifth.
Okay, there you go.
Look,
got
it's stuck stiff. I
mannequin
can't
foot.
get it further than
Yeah.
this right here. So I'm telling you, man, you get up to 32, 33. I know he ain't me, I ain't him, but a speed guy lose a step, hey, that ain't what you want. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but Akib, didn't you run 4.4? Like, right?
Yeah, I ran it smooth. I ran 4.38 at my pro day, to be
Okay,
exact.
there you go.
I ran 4.44.
What?
I ran 4.44 at the combine, but I wasn't too shabby. I ran with
Okay.
Tyreek. I'm on tape running with
I
Tyreek
know.
deep ball.
I know.
You know what I'm saying? So I could run, but I'm telling you, man,
Yeah.
them later surgeries, man, we just heal different. We just
Yeah.
heal different once you start getting a little bit older. So
Agreed.
it's gonna play a part. It's definitely gonna play a part. And then Cody hit on it, not being there for the whole offseason. That's gonna be tough to hop. I know, like I said, Tyreek don't need much, bro. Give him some over out of post post corners, couple double moves, some fades, get him the deep ball route tree, you know what I'm saying? And a couple quick stop routes to put the ball in his hand. So he don't need too much, but still just not, you know what I'm saying, creating that rapport with your quarterback for April, May, June, July is going to play a factor too. So you still got to get another surgery. You probably ain't going to be running around till shit, who knows? May, June, you know what I'm saying?
Mental. A lot of times the trainer will tell you, like, hey, you healed, you good. But up here, you still don't trust it. You be like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, go ahead, go 100, you good. But mentally, you know, will he get over that barrier or will it hinder him? You know, it's a lot of questions with that.
So change lives, Skip. I can't say I think he gonna go somewhere and change lives. But if he heal good, I think he can go be productive and help somebody win though for sure.
Yeah.
All right.